really see it, but it looks like someone threw away a pressure washer. Let's pick it up. Alright, it's the next day, and take a better look at this pressure washer I found. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Not bad. I already see an issue though in the pull start. Pretty frayed. But it does turn. Has compression. As you can tell, it's pulling the machine back. Really good compression. But if this doesn't work out, at least I have a good wand and hoses. All the tips are intact, including the white one. So let's take it off the truck here and see if we can get it to run and make some pressurized water. See if it can do the job. Okay, so I got the water hooked up. It's not on yet. So let's do some checks here before I turn the water on. So she got gas. Looks pretty clean. What we got for oil? Looks full. Doesn't smell like fuel. Yeah. That filter is definitely done. Literally disintegrating. Carb looks clean. Okay. Well, let's turn the water on and see if it will actually start it and actually produce pressure before I go really into this. So let me get a stand and get to it. Okay, so I got everything set up. Water is on, and got the carb spray there just in case it needs a little bit of help. Let's hope that it can actually start. I know the pull start doesn't really have that much life left, so let's see if it will work. Let's purge the air out of the system. So the gun works, that's good. Alright, put it to on. Let's see if she'll start. It's a little difficult to hold, but expected. Nice. Guess I don't have a choice but not to get a new cord onto this pull start. So 3 bolts, or nuts rather, 8mm. Let's get that cord replaced. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, would you let down your hair? Since you're all frilled up. Oh, there's the end of it. A little tough to come off. As expected. I need a pair of cutting pliers. Cut this thing out real quick. Let me get that. Okay. Guess we'll just cut here. Get this out of the way. At least the clock spring and everything inside is still good. Got some good cord right here. Took it off from another mower, so this will be quite useful. We have to cut the end, and usually you get a lighter and heat it up so they can go through the hole rather easily, but maybe with this one I can probably get it in just by fishing it through. And I can, beautifully. Nice. Now I just need to be able to retrieve that little piece of string there. Now, since I'm able to do that, take it back out, and let's preload the spring so that way once I put the string in, it should be able to suck it back in once I preload this spring. So you turn it and turn it until you feel a great deal of resistance. But you don't want to go too far because you may break the spring itself or overclock it. You should be able to feel to the point where it just don't really want to go anymore. And I think it's right here. Luckily, the hole is right there, which should be good enough for me to go ahead and fish this line right back through its hole. Wants to run away from me. Okay, tie a knot. Make it nice and tight. Use the string to do the rest. Get it locked in there. And voila. Nice. Not bad. I will cut a little bit of the excess off though. Just like that. And usually you can use a lighter again and heat up the knot so it won't unravel itself. But this is such a tight and thick string that I highly doubt it would unravel itself. So get away from here. Okay, got it. That's fixed. Guess Rapunzel can finally go to her resting spot. Alright, now I can put it back on the machine in reverse order. Let's put it right back on. 3 nuts again, 8mm. This one doesn't really want to go in, huh? There you go. Couple uggas will do her. All right, got the water back on. Full start works this time. Let's try this again. See if we can actually get it to start. Just in case I need some go-go juice here. At least it's not gonna break on me this time. Nope. All right. Got good compression. Oh, here we go. All right. Immediately start making pressure once it started for that couple seconds. That's a good sign. All right, that tells me already that we have compression, we have spark, and the pump is actually in good shape. So all we have to do now is go through the carb. Hopefully it's still salvageable, clean it up, and see if it'll stay running on its own. All right, let's go ahead and take the carb out. First, what we're going to do is take off that top screw there, the shroud. It's a Phillips screw. So let's go ahead and take that out real quick. Oh, there's another screw that holds on the side. Let's see. I believe that's an 8mm. That will help expose the linkages and whatnot, but you'll have a better view of it once I take this cover off. It only needs 2 screws that holds it. And that's 8mm right there, or 5/16, whichever you prefer. Literally comes right off, and the screws goes to the ground. Retrieve them. Take the switch off here, just like that. Side, and there's your auto choke system right here. Everything moves pretty nicely, so it's not terrible. That's a good sign. And you'll need an extension and a 10mm socket to take off the 2 main bolts that holds the carburetor to the actual intake. These suckers are hard on there, aren't they? Sorry for the shakiness. Get the second one in. There we go. Wow, these things are hard on there, aren't they? Okay. Everything comes out. Take the spring off. And then take the linkages off. Which will be better if I can just take the spring off here. These springs are so light. I see them all the time and they just rust out. The little pigtail at the end. They rust out so quickly. Usually when I found these type of styles and engines, they come with that spring, and that spring's usually broken. So anyways, the best way to keep the fuel from dripping out of the line, you usually use some form of crimper. I don't have that, so we're just going to tilt the machine upwards, and it's fine doing this. And take the line off that way, and it'll be fine. Take the fuel line off. Okay. And then you go ahead and take the two linkages, one for the auto choke system and one for the actual throttle. Just like that. And it carbs out for you. So let's take it to the bench, take it apart, and see if we can revive this thing. Half-inch, 13mm, takes this bolt nut out of the carb. The fuel smells pretty fresh, so that's good. So, ooh, lots of gelling. And it looks like there's some water. Yeah, that's water right there. Well, that could also tell me that maybe the airplane passing by. Well, this tells me there's definitely water in the fuel, so we'll have to drain the fuel tank out, put fresh fuel in it, clean the car pretty well, and put it back together. And also, it's notorious for these bolt nuts, which serves both as a bolt nut and the jet. And as you can see, it's pretty clogged up. This serves the purpose of sending fuel up to the emulsion tube, which eventually goes to the carb. So you can't really see that, but okay, let's take this little seal out. Be careful not to break this seal. Actually, no, I can see it this way. You see, this is all gunked up. That's supposed to be clear. Well, let's clean everything up here and see what we got. Alright. Give it a good old simple, quick and dirty cleaning. Comes out pretty good. Bowl comes out pretty good too. I don't understand it. These newer style Briggs, they use this bowl. They get corrosion quite easily. All that there you see is not dirt or anything. This is actually corrosion. And I remember when I used to pick on these things or sandblast them before. You don't mess with that because they usually punch a hole after. Even if you try to clean the corrosion, it'll actually go through the bowl and you actually damage it. Now, I picked up these cool looking drill bits here. You can get them at Harbor Freight. And these little drill bits actually helps clean the little orifices. Things like this, you know. So you can just poke them through. You just pick a good size. You don't want to give it an oversized bit that will cause a reaming, because you'll change the actual fuel air mix that goes through the carb. It will actually make it richer. Sometimes that'll be a good thing if it's running really lean and it has a surging or a hunting symptom where you can't maintain an RPM. So we just go one size larger, and usually that rectifies the problem. But in this case, they're usually really good on a tune, so it doesn't really need all that. So let's put it back together. Alright, it's back together. Again, it's just a simple clean. I'm not going to go do a full clean on it because I want to triple make sure everything works on the machine. For the most part, it is clean. Looks like all it was is some water intrusion. So let's put it back on the pressure washer. Alright, got everything back together. All the linkages are back on. Spring's good. The auto choke is working as it should. I also extracted all the fuel out of the tank, and this is the result. It looks like it's mixed with water, so it doesn't look very good. Definitely gotta put fresh fuel in it. So let's put some fresh gas in it, put the airbox back on, and see if it'll actually run longer than a couple seconds. Okay, so everything is back together, water's back on. But I kept the cover on, keep the cover off, because just in case I need to adjust the RPM, and I would like to monitor, make sure everything's working, test with the auto choke system and whatnot. So now I have it all set up. Let's see if she'll crank and actually stay running without the need of any helpers. Also, I forgot to get fuel, so I had to steal it off a lawnmower, which will be in the next video, since I found this lawnmower right there at the side of the road. So we'll discuss more about that in the next video. Anyways, let's give her. Pull the trigger. On. Pressure wash something. Maybe this next. you notice that it was slightly running rough towards the end. I'm sure it needs a filter. And I didn't put that much gas in it at all. I only put like maybe a quarter of a cup, which is all I can salvage from the other mower for fueling. So, I mean, it should be enough to run it. Let's start it back up to make sure, see if it'll clear up. Alright, so it seems like as if it needs more fuel. No, it actually has some fuel. Seems like the choke system's already telling it it's warm. So, without the filter, it couldn't produce the drag of the carb to help it start again when it's warm. I guess I still have to adjust the choke system as well, the auto choke, because it's held wide open, thinking the engine's already warming up. So those are the two little things I gotta do next, but at least I know that this pressure washer is worth really fixing and doing a full service on. Well, I still consider this as a win. Not bad for a free pressure washer that you find at the side of the road. It's crazy to see how many things people throw away. I guess I'll end the video here. Thank you for watching and sitting down with me and bringing back old junk back to life. Now that's gonna have a new purpose and be able to pressure wash once again. Thank you guys, and have a good one.